I remember the Unitarian Church, which is a pretty open church, they interviewed me to be their minister. And this is about 10 years ago, before gay marriage was legal anywhere. And I think civil unions had just come into being, and so New Jersey had civil unions. So when they interviewed me, they wanted to establish my liberal love cred. So they said, okay, Reverend Consolatore, would you ever marry two gay people? Or would you ever marry two men or two women?
All of these activities, they steal you away from me. Getting caught in...
And I said to them, well, not only would I marry two men or two women, I would marry three men or a woman and two men, or three men and one woman. Why do we put any kind of limitation on love, whether it's the sexuality or the number? If four people want to come together and say, hey, for the next 80 years, we're all going to love each other, we'll help provide for each other, we're going to help live in this way, who am I to tell them that love is no good? It's only got to be two of you. Pick two, and it better be two heterosexual people. So these limitations we put on it, these conditions, I've done gay weddings, and it's so obvious that to try to force someone who's gay to love in a manner that I deem correct or the right way is just, it's an absurdity. And it's an incredible, beautiful, spiritual evolution going on in the world and in this country in particular. It's a progressive movement towards, more and more states are saying this is craziness. I could say right now into this camera, it is, if you are a bigot, it is politically incorrect to hate gay people now. That's awesome. If you would have told me growing up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, Joe Cool, Tony Manero, Saturday Night Fever, King of Heterosexuals, this is where I grew up. If you would have told me that I would grow up and then one day preside over marriages of two guys, two girls, I would have thought you were crazy. And if you had told me that it would be legal in many states, I would have said that could never happen in this country. So it's a testament to people are really waking up. So love, we have the love of being loving. That's what we try to cultivate, the love of being loving. There are no boundaries that we put upon it. So it's non-conditional, non-personal benevolence. Beam it. That's it. Otherwise, it's our ego masquerading as love. Like, I love the right way, not like those gay people, Who cares whose genitals you're attracted to? What do I care? What turns you on when you're in bed with your partner? It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. If you guys love each, or you girls love, if anybody loves someone else with non-conditional, non-personal benevolence, then I celebrate that. And I try to bring that into their wedding. And I'll tell you, some of the gay weddings I've done have been so beautiful because it's like they were liberated. They can't even believe they're getting married either. They grew up with all this societal hate. When they were 8 years old, they never could have dreamed I did a marriage of two guys who had just adopted a daughter, and it was a surprise wedding. Everybody thought they were just coming to see the adoption of the girl, and then I married them. It was a happening. Because I got the goosebumps, even as I say, you can even zoom in, because I want to see the world, how awesome I am that I get goosebumps from sharing love, right? The ego. But anyway, love is so beautiful that sharing it at that particular occasion, it felt like, I totally felt I was on the side of holiness. Holiness is not posturing as I'm purer than you or holier than thou. It comes from wholeness. And our wholeness is not found in our body, so it doesn't matter what genitals or erogenous zones turns us on. It has nothing to do with love. There's nothing to do with love. And so it was just an honor to preside over unconditional or non-conditional, non-personal benevolence and just say, wherever love is happening, then I'm a fan of that. And Jesus was there. Where two or three are gathered in my name, there were people crying in the audience. They were so relieved that this person who they loved did not have to feel mockery and shame and be victimized, that people were actually celebrating their love. It was an incredible thing. So there is a progressive movement going on in the whole world, and it's manifested in gay marriage, and I love that. I'm a big fan of unconditional. And when we say unconditional love, it's like saying pizza pie. The word pizza means pie in Italian. So if you say I want a pizza pie, you're saying, hey, I want a pie pie. I want a pie pie. It's superfluous. But because love is so misidentified and misconstrued and misused, we actually have to say unconditional love. Even though unconditional is already in love. I'm only saying it to clarify. It just shows how off we are. Everything we think is love, often it just masquerades as love. You know, we think, oh, I care about her every minute. I watch everything she does. I'm making sure no one goes near her, you know, because I love her. You know what I'm saying? Really? Really? Love lets be. Love is letting go. So it doesn't have an agenda of its own. So that's not love. That's why we have to actually say unconditional love. That's the only kind there is. There is no other kind. So weddings help me get there, and particularly doing unconventional weddings. So suffering comes from wanting and not wanting. There's something better than wanting and not wanting, and this little small word called is. God is. It's not a should. You don't have to be nice. It's not you should be nice. It's just we're love, and when we're manifesting love, we'll feel fulfilled, we'll feel joyous, and everything else is just a counterfeit and just masquerades for a while until we say, all right, I guess that's not going to get me home either. And then eventually, like the prodigal son in the Bible, we all come home humbled, ready for something new. And then when we're open and we're receptive, then the good of God, the abundance, the greater good, as your website alludes to, it's always there waiting for us. So we're the ones who go out for a walk, and then God's waiting for us when we're ready to come home. And here's what I dig, and definitely everything I've said now goes against this because I talk too much. St. Francis of Assisi said, preach all the time. When necessary, use words. So, you know, we're talking about these things, so we use words. But, you know, if I don't live these words, then I do that at my peril. And to the extent I bring these principles, they're principles. And to the extent I put myself in accordance with them, it's a blessing, it's wonderful. It'll give me everything that I want.
All these activities, they steal you away from me. Getting caught in the rat race ruined my fantasy. Off to work on Monday mornings, they say you gotta make money. Rather have it be just you and me in the land of milk and honey. All I want is another minute with you. I don't care.
I'm awakening. We all are.